Hello everyone, welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. Today we're going to go over my next update on, or my coverage, I guess, on Marvel United Multiverse slash Marvel United Cosmic slash this was supposed to be a Fantastic Four Kickstarter and it wasn't, so now it's Multiverse coverage. Um, we got a lot of new reveals today. They did the update video, Simon did. Not going to dive too much into the video itself because I want to look at more of the updates themselves and like what was written in those updates. I skimmed the video a bunch today when I was on my lunch break at work today. There was a couple things where they revealed just some of the work they did on the figure, some of the process they did with that, the kind of the process that goes in with a little bit with they mentioned a couple times the approval from Marvel itself on the content for the game, those things. So we'll kind of take a look at that, take a look at some stats comparing this campaign with the previous two campaigns, see how we're doing, and thoughts on anything else going on with this campaign. I don't know if I'm making any predictions because I didn't think about doing that. Predictions being based on what we're already getting, who are we going to get, what kind of teams we're going to get. It's kind of an open door at this point. We're getting a lot of deep cuts in this one, extremely deep cuts depending on who you are, but and your knowledge of the Marvel comic universe. This is not so much so far in MCU. The core box, the multiverse box, definitely is an MCU box, meaning that it takes, even though it's comic inspired, it takes a lot of characters who were definitely, especially the heroes, recently in a lot of Marvel movies or Marvel projects or upcoming Marvel projects, and puts them at the forefront. Everything else in this is pretty deep cut Marvel comic stuff. So, but let's go ahead, shift the screen over, and see what we got. All right, so we're back on the Marvel United Multiverse Kickstarter page here. They are currently at, I'm going to refresh the page just to make sure that there's nothing else going on. Ooh. Yep, we are at 966,805 dollars raised so far, 10,587 backers, 18 days to go. This video right now is being recorded because I hate sleep apparently at 11:01 p.m. on the 20th. So again, still technically within day 3. Depends on how you're counting it. Someone I remember online said that they were counting it by from the 3 p.m. mark, basically counting every 24 hours. But we're still technically, if you think about regular days, at least for me, East Coast, we are on an hour away from this being not day 3. Regardless, so cool things that happen today. I'm not going to necessarily scroll through here, but reveal wise, before we go into each individual update and kind of look at the characters cards and whatnot. So we, and actually before we get into that, I do need to have a retraction on something I said in the last video. I mentioned Cyborg Spider-Man. I said something about him being the first multiverse character in the game, and he wasn't. Somebody pointed out to me in the comments in the last video that, and I'm sorry I don't have your name here because I don't have it on any of my screens at the moment. I don't want to kind of shift things around, but you know who you are because you were the one of 2 comments. But they mentioned that there was actually a Spider-Man thing that occurred in the actual 616 universe back in the 90s, and judging by Spider-Man's gigantic metal arm and the style it was in, basically looking at Cable's metal arm, I should have known it was a 90s thing. So yeah, as far as I'm remembering, and we'll kind of go through this, but I don't think still this is the multiverse box. We are 21 stretch goal characters, not counting, I didn't count up the number of characters in core box, expansion box, and with the wreckers and all that stuff. But we're at 21 stretch goals into this campaign, and I don't think there's a single multiverse character in this box yet. Everyone, if I remember correctly, is in 616. We'll take a look at that here in a minute. But we will kind of go over here to the first update. So right after I recorded, edited, and posted at 1:30 in the morning the last update video, we got Crimson Dynamo unlocked. He was revealed. I put him in the count of characters. I said we had 13 characters total in the game for stretch goals. Technically 12. It was 13 revealed, 12 unlocked. So regardless, those numbers will kind of even out here. But Crimson Dynamo was unlocked right after I completed the video, and as I said in that video, Raza was the next revealed character in the game, rounding out the Starjammers. I think in the next update it actually states, or one of the updates, it actually states that the Starjammers are finished. So basically those 4 characters, Hepzibah, Corsair, Chode, and Raza, are going to be the only 4 Starjammers. Those are the main 4 that I can remember from the X-Men animated series back in the 90s. I never read through. I know there's been a couple like Starjammer series and stuff like that. I don't know what other extra members they had, but those are usually the 4 classic core members of that team. So anyway, Raza, Raza Long Knife is a formidable fighter for the Starjammers, fast on his feet and always ready for battle. His skills with the blade allow him to keep fighting thug after a thug, while his marksmanship enables him to take deadly pop shots at adjacent locations. So that's pretty cool. He's going to be able to do some, I'm going to call it ranged attacks, but he's going to be able to hit adjacent locations. So that's pretty cool. He is also going to have the Starjammer Crew card as well with the punch there. One of the things I thought was cool during the live stream today, they did mention all 4 Starjammer characters have their bases were designed so they all 4 look like they were on the Starjammer. So that was a pretty cool attention to detail. The other thing in here I think they said is that there's some other cards that they have not revealed for the Starjammer Crew that gives them a little bit deeper team mechanic, more so than like the Fantastic Four team. I'm assuming I think the Alpha Flight team had kind of a similar mechanics. So it's cool that they're listening to fans to try to improve those team mechanics in there. So we'll see how that plays. We haven't seen the actual revealed cards yet, but that is Raza. Like I said, he was revealed right after I posted the video. To the point, I can't remember if I did or not, but I feel like I made a comment on or an update on the description that mentioned it. Or no, I think I was going to, and then I didn't because I knew I was going to make this video. So, but anyway, he was revealed, and that was January 19th. So again, we're going to be covering January 19th and January 20th here during this video. So the next thing that popped up, things might get prickly. So after Raza was revealed, after Raza was unlocked, we got M. So that made me very happy. During the last campaign, Jake and I talked, actually before the campaign, I loved the X-Men growing up. I read Uncanny X-Men, got somewhat into the side series, X Factor, X Force, Generation X, Excalibur. A lot of times when they cross over is when I would go into their books, and I would get some other books around that. But I love all those characters. Was a little upset during that X-Men campaign that we didn't get anyone from Generation X except for technically Banshee, Emma Frost, and Jubilee. But all 3 of those were mainstay X-Men at one point. So their inclusion in the game didn't make them Generation X characters. They were part of the X-Men. I remember before I made the campaign, I actually wrote out, based on the first Marvel United campaign, what I thought would be various expansion content in this game. And I wrote up that the Generation X characters, there'd be a few of them in there, and that I think it was Empath would be the Implant. Implant would be the villain in that box. We might still see him, but This proved one that there was enough people who were wanting Generation X that they're putting it in the game now. And also it disproves what I said in the last campaign or the last video or no, the prediction video, where uh, just there was some kind of talk in one of the other videos about the fact that there may not be X-Men in the game. Clearly, we are getting mutants in this game, and we have a ton of them in these reveals on the day 2 and day 3. So yeah, we have M in the game now. She has cards that turn her into penance. It would be cool if we can get some like another model for penance. Since I think at one point they were, despite the convoluted history um, that's in this write up here, I think both characters were existing at one time in the very early issues um, of Generation X. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, she can basically change forms while she's in battle. There's not a second miniature to depict that. That would have been cool if they did. 2 for the price of 1, but they didn't do that. So we'll see how that goes. Also, kind of, she might share. They might have some mechanic with the penance form and whatnot. They might have some mechanics with Husk if she's in the game. But that was the next reveal on day 2, and then after that, it says the mercenary has a bone to pick. I know this was a much requested figure from the first campaign that we have Crossbones. I believe he was a minion or whatever the card is called, but he was a minion or whatnot for Red Skull, I believe, in the first in the core game. So the fact that he is now in Marvel United properly as a figure is actually pretty cool. I mean, he was even a core character in Marvel Crisis Protocol. He was in that first box. So, and he had um, essentially a character arc going through the MCU with Captain America movies. So, yeah, so he is going to have his villain dashboard, 12 master plan cards and 6 threat cards. Yeah, so he's going to have some interesting mechanics. Wipe out all civilians in his location. His BAM can also discard civilians all around him. So yeah, he's going to have some interesting mechanics there. We're going to have some very interesting mechanics with a lot of stuff in this game. But that was the next reveal there, and then after that, they did reveal. The next update was talking about the Wrecking Crew. So, and I actually realizing this, I haven't read this yet. Um, they started together all in location. Most of the master plan cards will activate 2 of them at a time, moving them around, triggering their BAMs, and adding civilians and thugs to the locations. So, if I remember correctly, it's very similar to the Sinister Six box, where it showed all 6 characters on the card at one time, and I think whoever the top 2 were that were still in the game, those were the ones that activated during their turn. So, their master plan isn't much more complex than stealing all the loot they can. KOing heroes and causing overflows increases their loot track. All the threats are bank robberies, which the heroes must stop one by one, spending moves, attacks, and heroic actions before they can finally take on the Wrecking Crew directly. There are no other missions in this game. However, one of the master plan cards might completely change the villain's plan mid-game, shifting their strategies. So we get that, and then there's some write-up in here about the individual characters. I'm not going to go too far into that. We do get a new token there. Thunderball attacks adjacent locations. Pile driver. Also, dangerous civilians location. Like a ton of bricks. So apparently, he's going to get Pile driver's going to get more power if he's adjacent or with the other Wrecking Crew members. I'm sure they probably talked about the Wrecking Crew a little bit in the video today too. Again, I didn't get to go through the entire video. And I want to get this video put out today, so I will probably talk a little bit more about those videos once I actually can sit down and watch them. I do have a day off tomorrow, so I might do that during my off time tomorrow. But there are all 4 Wrecking Crew members. These guys look. I like the very simplistic costumes. that are still very um, uniform, but they're very simplistic costumes. Will be hopefully not too bad to paint, but we will see with that. I mean, if I ever get to paint my figures. So next, then again, they talked about painted marble. So this again was just an update, and I'm realizing that with the way I have my lighting in here, my lighting matches Captain Carter there. But this is just when they were um, showing the Big Child Creatives, Big Child Creatives paint jobs on the various core box characters. Again, nothing really much to talk about on here. Um, I always look at these and realize like you can tell the details on these that they look at first like they're rendered, but then there's some details where you can tell they're actually like the actual painted figure. It's interesting. Or maybe I am wrong. These are just render like some kind of renders. But even like this Fire Lord here, just kind of the way the shadows look on here, it looks like it's got to look real. So and there they're all together. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, I like these paint jobs. So if you want to take a look at that more, go ahead and look at that is update number 20. Again, all this on the 19th, so day 2. The 19th, we also got Crossbones unlocked, and then we got, for me, a pretty deep cut. I have not. I was gonna bring it over here. The last X-Men comics I read, in comics in general, were pre was it Secret Empire, the one with spoilers, Evil Captain America or Hydra Captain America. I was reading a lot of lead up to all that. Never actually read the storyline itself. Various reasons got out of comic books at that time. X Men wise, still reading Blue Team, X Men Blue, X Men Gold at the time. X Men Blue being the one with the teenage X Men coming back from the past. So Cypher here, don't know anything about current status. I say this is a deep cut. To me, this is a 6-foot deep cut because, as far as I was aware, the character was dead and had been for quite some time. But I know with the recent X-Men comics, I do keep up with them a little bit. Don't read them, but I do keep up with them a little bit. I know that they've been resurrecting mutants and whatnot, and doing all that kind of crazy necromancer stuff, I guess. So, regardless, Cypher is here with his hero piece and 12 cards. I do like this uniform that they have for him. This design, he's not in just a regular old school X-Men blue and yellow uniform. So, Master Linguist, his constant omni translation ability, heroes in his location to freely exchange action tokens. So that's pretty cool. They can even exchange action tokens with the pool, getting the kinds of tokens they really need for the task at hand. Finally, his bonding with Warlock gives him techno-organic feeding abilities, enabling him to clear out crisis tokens around him. So that would be pretty cool, especially with the ability to move tokens around. Yeah, I like that a lot. Next, we actually have the first anti-hero stretch goal, and so yes, so this was revealed today. So at this point for this campaign, we I'd have to go back and look. I actually didn't count them out. So let's go back here. So Raza, and then M, so that would be 2, and then that's the Wrecking Crew update, the thing update. Cypher was 3. So we had revealed 3 more heroes on day 2 with I think 2 villains, and an anti-villain, an anti-hero, or not even the anti-hero, but we revealed the other villains. So, yeah, so we actually, I believe, we're on par-ish with day 2 of the X-Men campaign. Um, and actually, not even really. We'll get into. Well, I'm going to get to that in a minute because like I said, I have some stats that I'm going to share at the end of this. But anyway, day 2, sometime this morning, or day 3, sometime this morning, we unlocked Cipher, and then we got Dakin, the son of Wolverine, and I'm probably saying his name wrong. I know a lot of people in this one are upset with the color scheme because I guess his skin tone color he had very shortly, very early on in his appearance, and then moved to a more regular flesh tone in all of his later appearances. They did state during the live stream today, Simon did, that with talking to Marvel, because they had to get things approved through Marvel and whatnot, and this is kind of what they got approved. They said they were going to look at the possibility I think they said they were going to move over the possibility of trying to adjust his hero cards to show the more regular flesh tones, but they weren't making any promises. But it said it was something they would look into. Um, so there is that for you. But he has his 12 hero cards, 1 villain dashboard, 12 master plan cards, and his 6 thread cards, and 1 hunted token, which I'm pretty sure is something from Sabretooth. Um, in the first campaign, tracking abilities, you can move directly to a location with a villain or henchman and attack. Oh no, this is the other way around. Is that supposed to be? He can villain and henchman and attack them with his pheromone control. He's able to cancel a henchman's BAM as long as he's alone with them in their location. He's still in the process of learning to be a hero, gaining heroic tokens for each damage he takes as a villain. His attacks are devastating. His healing factor ensures he recovers 1 health every villain turn as long as his card is kept face up. But don't think. Okay. So that is. Hold on. When challenge is declared. Okay, so this is some challenge rules. I know we're gonna get into that later on. I was starting to skip ahead, but now we're going back. He's a villain. He's a fearsome foe. His attacks are devastating. His healing factor ensures he recovers. But don't think he's just brute force. He's a master manipulator who can turn the heroes against each other and bring back threat cards to ambush them. At the start of the game, he assigns the hero with the most attack symbols on their card as the hunted hero and targets them relentlessly above all else. Trying to prove this challenge. When a challenge is declared by challenging the heroes and being challenged by them, when a challenge is declared, Dakin compares the top 3 cards of his hero deck to the cards of the hero's hand. Whoever has the most attack symbols wins the challenge, moving the challenge tracker in their direction. Manages to move the tracker all the way to his direction. The heroes lose. So, and yeah, there was the comments in there about the way he looks. So, yeah, interesting challenge. Using a challenge tracker for the characters on the dashboard. Again, the thing I like about Marvel United is the system itself is simplistic enough that you can basically plug in different modules, even in the base game for the original game. All 3 villains, Red Skull, Taskmaster, and Ultron, all had different conditions for winning and how you fought them and everything. Even how their BAMs worked, how their overflow worked. Like I said, the game kind of is kind of modular in the fact that every time you plug in a new villain, like the heroes may not be too different, especially because out of 12 cards, you're only getting 3 to 4 special cards, and everything else is just those symbol cards and whatnot. But the villains are what makes the game having a unique experience every time you play. That's why getting these Kickstarters and making sure that you're at least, if nothing else, getting the stretch goal box. If you're just going to do the initial Multiverse core box pledge and you're still getting all those stretch goals and everything, you are going to have so much content from just that if you don't get anything else in this game, if you don't get the Herald pledge with Galactus and you don't get any of the other expansions and everything, you will have plenty of characters to choose from and plenty of villains to fight. You will, like I said, it'll be a pretty good experience with that. A lot of variety just from that. again with getting it through the Kickstarter. So Cypher there, Dakin. I know I'm mispronouncing his name and I'm skipping his name in other parts because I don't think I'm saying it right. But that's what we got. Then after that, they did more painted marvels for the stretch goals. So I'm not going to, again, scroll through all of that, though these paint jobs look very nice. I'm going to look at them later on myself. Then next here, what it means to be inhuman. This was the big thing revealed in the video today, the live stream today. This was the War of Kings expansion for Marvel United Multiverse. Again, they are, and I don't know, I'd have to go back and look at the boxes for the first game. They are getting away necessarily from the branding of the main Kickstarter theme, so multiverse in this case, and putting in a different branding. They did it in the X-Men campaign with both the Fantastic Four box and the Deadpool box. Fantastic Four box because in my conspiracy world, that was supposed to be this Kickstarter. Deadpool just to separate Deadpool from the rest of it. Every other box over there had a X-Men banner, and I don't think they had a different banner for the other expansions from the first game. So I'd have to go back through and look just to make sure. But yes, we have a War for Kings box here, which color-wise with the banner and the box art looks very reminiscent of more of an X-Men box than it doesn't have that teal color that the Multiverse box has on the banner. It has the red from the X-Men one on there. So again, I don't know, but this is gonna go. This box fuels more of my conspiracy stuff with whether or not this should have been Fantastic Four. At the most, this is all proving that we are doing Marvel United Cosmic in here, and not so much Multiverse. With that said, we are 3 days into a 21-day campaign, 18 more days to go. We are probably going to be getting. I'm going to say today is, as of filming, it's 11:25. Don't know how much of this I'm editing out, but it is right now 11:25. This is going to go up on Saturday, regardless. But I will assume Tuesday. What's that? The 24th is probably where we're going to get. That's when my prediction is that we're going to get a expansion box, another one, or something along those lines, something big for it to be an add-on to the game that we're going to get on that day. So that's just my hot take. But anyway. So we have the flavor text here for War for Kings. It is definitely the Inhumans box. And on this page right here, we have 7 hero pieces, 1 anti-hero piece, 1 villain piece, a tracker, cube, 132 cards, 2 villain dashboards, 4 locations, 18 tokens, all of the things, and it is only, again, $35. I'm pretty sure that is how much a lot of the expansions were. You can't see it, but I'm scrolling to the in the original Marvel United campaign just to see how much expansions were when they were listed. Yeah, the price wise from the original Marvel United campaign, and if you look at the Galactus box, going from $65 to $100, it's a $35 increase. So for an extra $35, we're getting a massive figure and multiple game modes and 4 heralds that can be played in multiple different ways for $35. I feel like that's a better deal than the Apocalypse box still, and also from the first Marvel United, as far as the original expansions went at the time. For the Kickstarter prices, it was $35 for the Sinister Six. Infinity Gauntlet was technically another $30, and then everything else was $25. But again, you were getting only 4 figures for that $25 for $10 more. Over here in War of Kings, $10 more. We're getting double the characters. We're getting instead of 3 heroes, 4 technically heroes with the Kickstarter exclusives, 4 heroes and a villain. We are getting here um, 7 heroes and 2 villains, or 8 heroes and 1 villain. However you want to deal with that, uh, with Gladiator being the anti-hero in there. But regardless, we're getting a ton of content. We have 9 total characters in there, all the stuff we need, new locations, new tokens. So yeah, deep dive in here. We got Black Bolt, Medusa, Lockjaw, Crystal, Karnak, Gorgon, Triton, Gladiator, Vulcan. All the cards for those characters. Gladiator's dashboard, Vulcan's dashboard, 4 new locations, the Terrigen Mist tokens, which I'm very happy they didn't do anything that would screw up the X-Men when the Terrigen Mists are on the board. But hearing in the live stream this afternoon, because this is where I kind of started focusing in, I didn't really as much care about the figure reveals and them talking about the figure reveals as much as I wanted to hear about this expansion, because I had seen postings of the expansion during the stream. Then I went back and watched it when I went to lunch. But the Terrigen Mist are pretty cool. The Inhuman characters are able to go to these tokens and activate them and flip them, but there are some tokens that may not have anything under them. But if they get the token, if they flip over one, it has a token symbol, then they were able to use that during their turn, which I thought was pretty awesome. Now, we have some information here where they go and talk about the way the characters interact with each other, and some of the characters interact in interesting ways. Some of them don't. Some of them just have their main cards and they interact the normal way that a Marvel United figure would. But the Inhumans box here interacts with specific characters in specific ways. Black Bolt has a strong bond with Medusa, his wife, allowing him to use a card she played at any point as the previous card in the storyline. So I was thinking it would be probably a little overkill that Black Bolt would be able to feed off Medusa's cards, any card that she has in the storyline that he can use, and I felt like Medusa would do the same thing. Kind of be like Titania and Absorbing Man, how they have each other in their decks, in their threat decks. But then we get down to Medusa and talking about Medusa, and this is where, again, the Fantastic Four conspiracy stuff jumps in my brain, in that she has a close connection to the Fantastic Four. She has been a member of the Fantastic Four before. So if any of them are in play, she can use the actions on their Fantastic Four card. So she's going to interact with the Fantastic Four specifically, and I'm going to skip over to Crystal. She can also, so if any of them are in play, she can use it. Yeah. So she can also use the symbols and the actions on their Fantastic Four cards. So again, this is, I'm not sure how they shuffle things around, but again, this is linking to this is seriously linking to a box that, as of right now, isn't being offered. I'm gonna duplicate that tab real quick so I can take a look at something else. But as far as I know, it's not being offered. Now, with that said, they did address again for the upteenth time today that they were, and I'm sorry if you can hear my mouse clicking as it's scrolling. They did say for the upteenth time that they were not going to be offering previous Kickstarter content on the new campaign. With that said, I know a lot of people are harping on specifically the retail stuff is not going to be offered during this campaign. However, Fantastic Four is technically a Kickstarter exclusive, and it wasn't, so it's not going to be offered at retail. So if you did not, I don't see how CMON and Marvel can have cards in a new Kickstarter that interact with cards specifically and characters specifically in a previous Kickstarter without in some way offering those Kickstarter characters. So one of two things is going to happen. Either A, they're going to reoffer the Fantastic Four Kickstarter box expansion in this in this campaign, or we're going to see a different kind of Kickstarter box for expansion of some sort for the Fantastic Four, or create a proper core. I don't know. If they did that, I kind of feel like that would be a little bit of a slap in the face to not slap in the face. I don't know how they would do that with people who already had the original Kickstarter, because you have to think about them in that. But um, yeah, I don't know. But um, again, going back with uh, going back with how this is, Crystal and Medusa specifically talk about interacting with Fantastic Four cards. Um, Also, going back to the pricing thing, I went back and looked at it. The Fantastic Four, you got 7 figures again for $35. I'm not sure how they're dealing with pricing right now with the expansions, what kind of deals they're getting um, uh, with production and whatnot, but we're technically getting more figures and potentially more gameplay material for the same price as a lot of the other expansions that were even in the last campaign. So we'll see how that goes. But scrolling back up to Lockjaw, he is again, he's a teleporting dog, so he's going to use his ability not only to move to any location, but also bring other heroes along with him. He is an excellent tracker, tracking down any hero, henchman, or villain he wants to fight in their location. So he's going to be able to move around all over the board. That's going to be a good pupper right there. Crystal also is going to have this seismic barrier token, which the cool thing about that is it can be placed in a location. It's either placed in a location or between locations. I don't remember on that. Oh yeah, between locations. So there's an Acme card in Looney Tunes Mayhem, which again is also made by Simon, that kind of does the same thing, but basically we're going to be putting a barrier with Crystal on the board that is actually going to be able to stop the villain's movement. So that'll be pretty cool, depending on how you use it, to make sure you're not getting attacked by the villain or anything like that when they're moving around, especially for characters like Juggernaut. If he's doing a whole spin around the board and hitting everybody he can on the way, this should stop him in the middle of his tracks. So that will be pretty neat to see how that gets used. And I like her miniature because it's using all the different colored translucent plastic there. It is going to be a shame when people prime over them and then have to try to paint behind her there. But all in all, great figure. We got Karnak. Also double the crystals. So yeah, so he's going to be interacting with previous cards in the storyline. We've got Gorgon, which he is just going to be attack heavy. Triton is going to be using the water locations, water tokens that Chode also uses to evade damage while underwater. Then we have the anti-hero, my boy Gladiator. My first experience with him in media is, again, the X-Men animated series. I'm really hoping, I know they don't always do it with expansions, but again, I'm looking over here because that's where the wall of Marvel United boxes are. They're possibly going to end up over here once I finish the other shelf and get these secure. But anyway, yeah, so I'm really hoping, so once we get into more stretch goals and get some stuff unlocked, I'm hoping that more members of the Imperial Guard show up as stretch goals, with Gladiator being an anti-hero in this expansion. It would be interesting if we got the other members of the Imperial Guard as hero stretch goals to go along with the fact that because we don't need them all to be necessarily villains and fight against them. It'd be cool if they were just heroes, especially because I'm still hoping, I know this is War for Kings, and basically already getting our Shi'ar representation here, but I'm still hoping that Deken is in the game. If he's in the game, he's probably going to be a stretch goal. I don't think they're going to, especially with this box, I don't think they're going to make a whole expansion box for him. I was hoping that Phoenix Saga would have gotten an expansion box in the original campaign, but they again made the Phoenix a stretch goal and gave us Phoenix 5 for reasons. So anyway, that is that. Antihero Gladiator. The thing I kind of like about this character, I was reading through the write up on this before we started the video. He as in hero mode, he's pretty good. He has the healing factor card, so he's able to put cards back in his hand. As the villain, it's interesting because he can do a duel, and he actually uses his hero deck in the duel. So the duel initiates. He takes the top 2 cards of his hero deck, and he goes against whatever you have in your hand, and you basically have to match the symbols that are revealed from his hero deck. And that again adjusts the tracker, very similar to Dakin, Son of Wolverine, where he uses the track. Gladiator's going to do the same thing, or in a different way. So it's kind of cool to see how those two mechanics are basically the same mechanic, but presented in different ways by different characters. So that's pretty cool. And then we have the main villain from the game, Vulcan, Third Summer's brother. He let's see. Oh, here's those. So yeah, he damages heroes in the adjacent locations. He is able to mess with the special effect cards on the table, and apparently has Deathbird as a henchman in his deck. If you wanted to throw the Deathbird token or figure in there from the X-Men series, I guess you could. But we also have new locations. We have the blue area of the moon. We have Attilian, the Watcher Citadel, and I can't read that on here. Where is it? Tarnax 4, which is the Skrull capital, or Tarnax 4. What to expect from the Skrull capital or Tarnax 4 as it has. Okay. So yeah, so those are going to be our 4 locations. They are going to do different things. The Citadel allows you to looks like future plans of the villains are probably going through their master plan deck. There's ways to refresh the cards, all that kind of stuff. So these are pretty good locations. I do like the fact that they're not doing 6 total locations again, like in the very first campaign, because we're not going to be hopefully we're not double up on stuff. But and then they have in here how to add the optional buys. So once again, pretty good expansion on here. I like all the mechanics. I like all the stuff in it. This is going to be a good one. I cannot wait for this game to come out. So there is that. Then the next update that came through is Feeling Hot Around the Collar. Dakin was right after War Kings was revealed. He got himself unlocked as well, and then I texted Jake about the next one and said, "Oh look, we got Chamber." He knows I really wanted the Generation X characters. He's not too thrilled, but to each his own. But we get Chamber. He is going to. So he's going to be. Apparently, his biokinetic flames offer him great destructive power, though it often results in discarded civilian and injured teammates. So he's going to be able to do friendly fire. I do like the fire effect kind of going around his entire head. It is that clear plastic fire, so you're either going to, on figures like this, you're either going to need to paint the fire or use probably a brush on primer or something like that to get around it if you want to keep the fire effect. But then kind of like with a character like this, you're going to see all that blue underneath because you can't paint the regular one. So I don't know of any tried and true methods to remove the effects from the different characters. I know there's people out there who have different methods, but I'm not willing to try them on characters, especially that I cannot replace. So that's just me on that. But anyway, Chamber was the next hero revealed. After that, we got Chamber unlocked, and then we got Maximus. He was, let's see, another Inhuman. He is another villain for us. So we're getting a lot of villains here, and I'm going to go through the the stats here in just a minute once we get through, I think, one more update on here. But he is going to have the League of Evil Inhumans in his group. So he's got Tiberius, Aereo, Nebulo, Stolior, Leonis, and Falcona. Butchered all those names. Luckily, these are not real people. I do find it funny, whoever the third one is, I'm assuming this Nebulo, is he's either not revealed or he just looks like a silhouette all the time, and I'm just completely unfamiliar with characters like that. If he's not a silhouette, that must mean that he's probably going to be in the game somehow, and they just don't want to reveal his character art yet. Or they don't. Well, or they haven't finalized the character art and they just put a silhouette of something. I don't know. So there is that update right there, and then Maximus was revealed or was unlocked, and then we got Captain Britain, Betsy Braddock. This is one when I first looked at it, again, not having read the X-Men comics in a long time, that I was like, oh, we finally have a multiverse character. Nope, she apparently is Captain Britain currently in the comics. Apparently, Betsy got her old body back, which is weird because I'm pretty sure it died in the 90s. So again, X-Men Resurrection stuff, who knows? But yeah, she is now in the game. She is going to have the Starlight Sword for her equipment card there. So yeah, we are going to have Elizabeth Braddock in the game again. So this kind of goes with the whole thing of variants and whatnot. You could we have Psylocke in the blue team box. We're going to have her as Captain Britain here. You could always say that I can never pronounce the name. It's Quanon, whoever the character was that she switched bodies with in the 90s. You can basically say that that's who the other character now is in the stretch goal box, and actually not even going through the updates, that might be who that is. Although at the time, yeah, maybe. But yeah, so there she is. I like the sculpt. I like the artwork in here on the shield and how everything's kind of glowing a little bit. I kind of wonder how they're gonna paint it, all that stuff. But I do really like this character. So that was the last character reveal in this Kickstarter. So a few stats for comparison. We are at 48 minutes into this video, so if you didn't stay, I apologize to you for that. But today we had technically revealed, we'll go with revealed. We had 4 new heroes revealed, through 2 to 3 villains, I wrote on here, and 1 anti-hero. We're going to actually scroll back down to the unlocked characters, the stretch goals. So looking at this list, so yeah, Raza, M, Cypher, and Chamber, along with Captain Britain, are the 5 revealed characters. 4 of them were unlocked, but 5 revealed characters. And then Crossbones and Maximus, I think I wrote the 3 because of Crimson Dynamo was technically not unlocked at the time. But revealed characters, we got 2 new ones with Crossbones and Maximus, and we have 1 anti-hero. For comparison, between day 2 and 3 for the Marvel United, the original campaign, we were at 4 heroes and 1 villain revealed. So 5 total characters revealed on day 2 and day 3, are unlocked during day 2 and day 3. And then as far as unlocking X-Men, we had 2 heroes on day 2, 1 hero on day 3, so 3 total heroes, 2 villains revealed during that time, and 1 anti-hero for a total of 6 characters. Whereas today it looks like we've got 5 characters revealed. 8 characters revealed today. So as far as characters revealed in the stretch goals, not going up with anything else, even other stuff, I think we're actually ahead. We actually so far have more character reveals if I'm doing all this addition right. Yeah, so we're outpacing the X-Men campaign as far as character reveals. Money wise, on the other hand, that is a different story. At this point in the campaign, the revealed character, and I had it here, and I probably clicked off of it. At this point in the campaign, the revealed character, whoever it was, the goal was $580,000. So we are above that considerably at this point. In comparison, X Men, the revealed character, which was whoever was after White Queen, um, uh, Blink, yeah. Emma Frost was unlocked on the 16th, so 3 days in or whatever it was. Um, and she was $1,630,000. So we are $700,000 behind on Marvel United X Men. But the fact is, with that, I don't remember when it was added into the game. And I have to go back through the updates and look. And the way Kickstarter has their updates with scrolling through it, it's terrible. But you have to remember, in the first and the second campaign, they were offering the season one stuff during that campaign. Again, I don't remember when exactly that was revealed or how that was added on, but that stuff was added in during that campaign. So that's going to also inflate the numbers on this campaign. Also, a lot of people I know are not checking out this campaign yet because of, and I could go into Kick Track. I'm not going to right now to figure out like subscriber numbers and everything. I might look into that for the next update to see how we're doing with actual backers. But again, you're offering two Kickstarters worth of stuff in one Kickstarter. The numbers are gonna be inflated anyway. So again, I'm not sure when all that was, but yeah, that is where we're at with that at this point in with the X-Men. We had 21 characters at this point in day 3. We're kind of on par with them right now. The original Marvel United had 14 characters unlocked at this point. So we are outpacing original Marvel United. We are on par with X-Men. Now, again, my take on all these reveals so far, again, we're not seeing much multiverse in the stretch goals. We probably will. Again, we have 18 more days. It's what it says there to get some more multiverse stuff. But at this point, I'm still convinced that this campaign was originally supposed to be either Marvel United Fantastic Four, although I don't think they would have called it that. But it's definitely more Marvel United Cosmic. We have, for 2 expansions, I'm counting the Galactus and then War of Kings, we have 2 major cosmic storylines, characters, whatever you want to call them. Galactus, big giant cosmic world eating dude coming down to eat us for breakfast, and then War of Kings, which there was a lot of parts of that, if I remember correctly, and it actually started back in random issues of Uncanny X-Men. And then I think X-Men Deadly Genesis is where you first find out about Vulcan in the first place. So that was a long-spanning cosmic storyline going on in the X-Men books and beyond the X-Men books. That again, this campaign was probably Marvel Cosmic. I don't know what happened between the end of the X-Men campaign and the beginning of this one, but yeah, that is what I have to say on that one right there. I can keep speculating, keep bringing that up, but let's just kind of focus at this point on what we are getting now. As far as what I think is going to be the next expansion, I don't know. I know, like I said, yeah, Inhumans was one of my wish list things that they would throw into the game, either as an expansion or as what I was calling blanket teams. I don't know if they're going to do Eternals. I don't know what they're going to do. In Marvel United 1, you can kind of predict what they were doing. They were definitely sticking with Marvel Classics, so you can kind of predict, but a lot of the stuff was we were getting a lot of MCU characters and Avengers mainstays in that one. We got a Thor expansion, we got a Spider-Man expansion, we got a Guardians expansion, we got a Black Panther expansion, we got a second Spider-Man expansion from Sinister Six. Um, a lot of that was you could have predicted a lot of that. X-Men, I predicted a blue team, gold team box. I had predicted on, like I said, I made a whole spreadsheet for it. I predicted gold team, blue team, X Force. The character compositions weren't what I thought they would be, but I guessed all that stuff. I of course didn't guess Apocalypse, but I'm glad that we got that. Days of Future Past was great for no other reason than bringing Sentinels into the game. Um, First Class, I could have taken and left that one. Still don't know why, unless it was to connect to the Avengers characters from the first campaign. Why they put Phoenix 5 in there? Again, I've said it before. I like it mechanically. I, the concept of it, theme wise, I'm not there. And we all knew Deadpool was going to have his own thing. The only thing that was kind of out of left field was that Fantastic Four box. Marvel United Multiverse. Genuinely, I have no clue what the next box will be. I don't know if it's going to be at Nihilus. I don't know if it's going to be. I don't know if we're going to get a box similar to the Sentinels. It's just a big giant Fing Fang Foom. I already said I didn't think it was going to be in there, but I mean, we're getting Cypher and another Captain Britain, Betsy Braddock. We've got starting to get some Iron Man characters. We're probably going to see like the Mandarin in there. We're getting Crossbones from like with Captain America stuff in there. I'm assuming we're going to get more as Guardians in the stretch goals. Stretch goals, I can definitely see stuff. I almost feel like at this point now, Eternals is going to be stretch goals. I don't think it's going to be an actual expansion. I think that one's going to be stretch goals. But we'll have to see. Again, looking over here, that's where my boxes are. But we're gonna have to see how all that plays out. The people, and I just want to also say, people who are complaining about deep cuts in this game again, and that you don't care about these characters, whatever. I have gone very public on these videos that I did not care for the fact that they threw dupe in the game, and I questioned Pixie. Especially when we didn't have Generation X. We're getting Generation X now, so I'm happy, but I didn't care for those characters. There are people who grew up with those characters. There's people who genuinely like those characters. I don't want to be the guy to dump on your favorite character. So again, not my cup of tea, but I'm at no point whatsoever saying that those characters are stupid and you should feel bad for liking them. I have seen a lot of that on the Facebook groups and stuff like that. So if you are watching this and you do go into the Facebook groups, like, just be kind to each other. Like, don't sit there and harp on someone else's favorite character just because they're not yours. That's all I'm gonna say on that. No, just be kind to each other, I guess. Yeah. As far as reveals, what I think they're going to do, the next thing they're going to have to do is going to be another expansion. Probably I would say on Tuesday. I wouldn't think Monday, because they want to let this expansion percolate through the weekend. But we'll probably get another expansion, I would say Tuesday. That way they can spread the next one over to Friday. After that, I don't think we're going to get anything like plastic tokens or cardboard or anything like that until probably toward the end of week 2, once we know more of the locations that are going to be in the game. And I am hoping for a third playmat. I only have the first playmat, and I hate the fact that I don't have that solo mode side for shooting here. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Let me know what you guys think. Please post in the comments if you are watching. Let me know what expansions that you think are going to be in the game. coming up, and I might mention some of them or talk about some of those during the next update video. Again, I'm not doing updates on these every single day. This is going to go up at some point on Friday when I get the time to edit it, and I'm sorry, on Saturday when I get the time to edit it, and I won't be doing another one of these until the next expansion comes out, if I do it. After that, I don't know when I'm going to do another video because I am going out of town for my birthday. So there is that. So I know I'm going to be gone when they do the next Friday update. So that's all there is to that. So I'm figuring out something to do with that. So yeah, so leave your comments down below for what you think is going to be the next expansion. Post any other random uh, 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 figures or characters or concepts that you think are going to be in the game. I really want to hear what you guys have to say and what you guys think, and go from there. Again, doing other content is kind of on hold because the room is a mess. If I switch back to this right here, you can see I've currently built one shelf. We're going to build another shelf over there. Haven't gotten them secure yet. I just wanted to see how they fit over there, and I'm actually glad because these Renegade Power Ranger boxes are huge and they actually fit up there on their side. So yeah, there is that. So I'm gonna stop rambling. 1 minute, 1 hour, 2 minutes in. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, like this video, give us a, I don't know, thumbs up, do whatever the kids say in these videos, ring bells, comment your favorite Marvel character, I don't know. But yeah, I thank you guys for watching, and we will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.